Greetings. You know, I love my music. Notice I said my music. I didn't say music, I said my music. My music was the music of the 70s. I love disco, but I loved a lot of the pop songs of the 70s because I was basically a teen in the 70s, and you listen to most of your music when you're a teen. I like the music of the 80s also, but I love the 70s most. Not counting classical music because I played piano, my dad loved classical music, and that's what we did. So I love that music to the extent that I know very few of the artists who are doing music today. I just don't know who a lot of them are. I see some of these names and I'm like, who the devil is that? And then I see the pictures of them sometimes. I say, who is that? So I don't know a lot of these people. I know who Taylor Swift is. I know who Bruno Mars is. I know who Lady Gaga is. Then it starts getting sketchy. That's a shame. I actually know who Justin Bieber is, but I've only ever heard one of his songs, and it was while I was sitting in a doctor's office, of all things. And they said it was Justin Bieber. I said, oh, so that's who that is. So that's it. I just don't know who these people are. Sometimes I hear a song in a movie, and I say, okay, that's pretty cool. Let me go look that up. But in general, I just don't know who folks are. Most of us tend to get locked into the things that we know and the things we like. So I have a better understanding of my dad, who never liked almost any of the music that I liked because he liked his music, which was Ray Charles and Little Richard and some of that other kind of stuff. Mainly classical, though. He really didn't always get into everything else, but he had his favorites. And Mom used to have her favorites. And it's an interesting thing when you think about it because I started thinking about some of my technology. Some of you know that I had the computer crashes back in October and decided to go back to Windows 7. And when I went back to Windows 7, I had to start running a lot of software that I used to run before I moved to Windows 10, which wouldn't accept it. And some of the other software I tried to run just wasn't working right anymore. I like Firefox as a browser instead of Chrome, and some of the things I wanted to run just wouldn't work. So what did I do? I kind of fumed and fussed a little bit. And then I realized, you know what? You got to upgrade. You got to change. You just can't always have everything the exact same way you had it before. It just doesn't work that way. And, internally I fussed at it, but I did it. So I've had to switch to different things that work okay. I'm getting used to them. There are those few things that I'm still fighting. For instance, WordPress I went to 5.0, what they call Gutenberg. That wasn't happening. So luckily there was a plugin I could go back so that I can continue doing things the way I want to do them until 2021, in which case at some point I'm going to be forced into switching. But now there are better videos showing people how to use it, because the original video that came out from WordPress, horrific, just didn't understand a thing. And I'm recording this today on my new Samsung Galaxy 9, just as they're getting ready to put out Galaxy 10. I've always been using the Galaxy 5, and I've started recognizing that there's a lot of things that have totally changed from the 5 that my wife and I have just been going crazy trying to figure these things out. I've had the phone less than 2 weeks at this point. And it's just one of those kind of things where you have to tell yourself, you know what, you got to get used to it. Things are not going to be like they were. You just got to do it. And I'm getting there. But, this is one of those kind of things where it sits there and talks about how we have to get used to change. We have to get comfortable for change. And I, in my profession, have always been great with change. But in my personal life, I haven't. I think with the last video, I happened to mention that I was doing a 30-day inspirational challenge from this guy named Mike Dooley. And it has encouraged me to try something that it's not embarrassing to mention because it is who I am, but it's interesting in the fact that over the last couple of weeks, I have stopped looking down at the sidewalk, worrying about stepping on cracks. This is one that goes back to when I was a kid. You just didn't step on cracks. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Well, I never knew, I never believed that, but I always kind of believed that it was kind of unlucky to step on cracks. And so I've avoided them. And now I'm saying, you know what? Look way ahead so that you don't trip over something like I'm kind of doing now. Look way ahead, but don't look straight down. Don't worry about stepping on a crack. Don't worry about stepping on those lines. Stop counting those things, which is something that I do all the time. And just move on with life. Don't get yourself caught up in that thing where you just have to count everything and you have to adjust everything. Let things flow. It's an interesting thing. It's a small thing, but it's an interesting thing. It's a change that I'm willing to make to try to progress. Ain't easy at my age, but there's a few things I can do. So this is my encouragement today. Think about ways that you can change your life for the better, things that you want to stick to, but you know that there's something else that might be better. It might be better, it might not be. It may be just a different way of doing the exact same thing, but think about it. What can you change in your life that you think will help make your life better? What are you willing to change that you think will make your demeanor better? That's today. My name is Mitch Mitchell. One of these years, I'm going to figure out how to hold these things tightly and also figure out where I'm supposed to consistently look so that I don't look like I'm staring out into space. Y'all take care. Have a great day.